Hello, everybody out there in Math 150 land. We're going to come back together now, and we're going to look at another equation of finding a vertex of a parabola. For this particular one, we've got f of x equals 3x squared plus 24x plus 3. We're going to use the complete the square method in order to find this, and I want to point something out about this one. This one has a little bit of a twist to it because a does not equal 1. In this problem, a equals 3. When completing the square, we want a to equal 1. It makes the process much, much simpler. So the way we get around this is we are going to take this expression, and we're still going to do the pushover idea. So we're going to take 3x squared plus 24x, and we're going to push over that plus 3. Remember, we have to add an expression and subtract the same equal expression to make this work. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at just this portion of it, and then we're going to look at the other portion afterwards, and we're going to say we want a to equal 1. Now, the way we're going to make a equal 1 in this case is we're going to take this 3 right here. We're going to take that 3, and we're going to factor it out. So when we factor out that 3, what we're going to be left with is x squared plus 8x plus the mystery number still. Okay, now just keep in mind, all we've done is factor out the 3. This is still 3 times x squared, which gets us our 3x squared above. It's still 3 times 8x, which gets us our 24x. We haven't changed the value of this expression at all. We're just making it so a is 1. Now on the outside, we've still got plus 3 minus that blank. And now we use our b over 2a to figure out what our mystery number is. And I'm sorry, b over 2 squared to figure out what our mystery number is. And that gets me 8 over 2 quantity squared, which is 16. So that's what's going in there. 16 is the mystery number. Now here is where the common mistake comes in. People want to take 16 and they want to put 16 in this blank as well. Don't fall for the trap. The reason that's a trap is because this 16 is not a 16 by itself. This 16 is really being multiplied by 3. So even though it looks like a 16, it's not a 16 in actuality. It's really got a value of 48. So because that 16 in orange is being multiplied by 3, when we go to balance it, we really have to subtract 48. And that is really the trick to this one. If you're able to follow that step, the rest of it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. Because from here, we're going to get that f of x is going to be equal to, I got a 3 on the outside. I now have x plus 4 quantity squared on the inside, and now I've got plus 3 minus 48, which becomes minus 45. I'm sorry, 45. So now the vertex, again, remember, we look at the h value here, and because we see a positive 4, that really means that the vertex has to switch the sign of the x value, because it's always the other sign that we see in front of the h, so it's going to be negative 4. And then we keep the k value, and that's going to be negative 45. So we've now got a vertex in this problem of negative 4, negative 45. So that will be the lowest point on this graph, because you guys should recognize that this is a parabola that will open upward because of the positive a value, and the vertex is going to be right here. It's going to be that lowest value. The one last thing I want to bring up, it's in the directions. We've never mentioned it together before, but every vertex has an axis of symmetry. And what that means is somewhere running through the middle of the parabola is a line where we're being reflected. So to find the axis of symmetry, you've already done all the work. It's already all set. The axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. So that's what you want to remember about the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex on a parabola. So once you've found the vertex, the axis of symmetry is a linear equation. It's a vertical line. All vertical lines have an x equals equation, and it will always equal always equal the x value of the vertex. So in this case, negative 4. So the axis of symmetry here is x equals negative 4. If you go back to the other way of finding a parabola's vertex that we talked about in the last video, let's just revisit that really quickly here. If we take a look at that parabola again, that 3x squared plus 24x plus 3, remember that you can find the vertex by using the formula x equals negative b over 2a. So in this example, that would equal, the b value is 24, so it'd be negative 24 over 2 times the a value of 3 And now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to work this out, and we're going to get that this is going to be negative 24 over 6, and that simplifies to our negative 4. So that's also a really quick way to find your axis of symmetry. You can feel free to use either method, the complete the square method or the negative b over 2a, completely up to you. Next time we get together, we're going to look at how we put all this together to make the graph of the problem. Hope that makes sense. I'll be back with another video shortly.